From the Grande Bars from the Tour de France fans, this is the GCN Show.
Hello and welcome to the GCN Show.
Coming up this week, we're all guilty to some degree of being cycling nerds, but just how much of a nerd are you? We have devised a system to tell you exactly how nerdy.
We've also got the world's hardest bike race, the Continental. Bring your kid to work day at the Tour, new tech, and Manon is at the Tour de France avec Zwift. Well, the Tour de France fam avec Zwift.
Yeah. Sorry, who are you?
Alex, you know me.
Yes, from the tech.
Yeah. This week in the world of cycling, we learnt that the first women's Tour de France for 33 years is off to a flyer, putting off our post-tour blues for yet another week.
Yeah, but while the hardest and fastest men's Grand Tour for a generation drew to a close, the world's toughest bike race, the self-supported Transcontinental, the anti-Tour de France, if you like, has just begun. We'll have a bit more on that later on.
We also learned that getting King of the Mountains or Queen of the Mountains on Strava can land you a pro contract, or at least it does if you're Jonas Vingegaard. After he took a prestigious segment in Spain, Jumbo-Visma reportedly snapped him up.
They did indeed. Unfortunately, no one snapped me up after I took my local one. We learned that Wout van Aert is hinting that BMX freestyle might be his next focus in cycling after his custom-painted green Cervelo had the writing Wout van Vert on it.
That is literally a terrible joke.
I'm sorry, mate. Yeah.
We also learn of the world's lightest folding e-bike from Austrian brand Velo. Just 12.9 kilograms. The hub motor also incorporates the battery, and it's even got like an F1 inspired KERS system, meaning you can recharge the battery on the fly when you stop pedaling.
It is the kind of development that, if effective, we will once again be thanking engineering nerdiness for taking the next steps in bike technology. Let it be said, it's nerdiness that we absolutely love.
Yeah. Nevertheless, it isn't just about tech and engineering though. It happens to us all. Cycling nerdery can start almost as soon as you buy your first bike, and it's a slippery slope.
It is indeed. So to help you work out how far down the hill of nerdery you've gone, we've been working hard behind the scenes to devise a system.
Okay, right. I think we can kind of break this down into levels of nerdiness into sort of three simple categories. We're going to have beginner nerd, amateur nerd, and then pro level nerd.
Okay, a bit like a traffic light system then, yeah? Beginner is green,
Yeah.
so you're okay to function in normal life.
Yeah.
Amber, you need to be careful. And then red, you might as well give up pretending to be normal entirely.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that.
Okay,
right. Beginner first.
Okay, step one,
Yeah.
Strava. All right,
Okay.
so I think that one of the beginnings of cycling nerdery is Strava. It seems so simple and innocuous at the beginning, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But having a record of your rides invites you to spend more time thinking about riding than just riding your bike. So it makes you slightly obsessed, doesn't it, about improving or going further or exploring or beating your mates.
True. Also, cleaning your bike. See, a total non-nerd wouldn't care about their bike, and that's cool. It doesn't matter. They might ride like crap and make an absolute racket when they go along every time they pedal, but they're not really going to care.
No.
So the first step on the road to nerdiness and sort of saving money is having a nice clean bike to ride.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair, isn't it? I also think cycling-specific clothing is a nerder. Like, there is nothing nerdy about Lycra.
Oh, there is. Yeah.
Okay, all right, so Lycra is a little bit nerdy, but having any cycling-specific clothing, even like trendy mountain bike baggy clothing, like it automatically puts you into the category of mini nerd, particularly cycling shoes, okay? So anytime you wear shoes that make a clip-clop sound as you walk, that's a couple of nerd points, isn't it? Tap dancing, slightly nerdy. Cycling, slightly nerdy.
Okay, what about if we sort of step it up another gear to amateur level of nerdiness?
Okay, right, we had a shout out from a guy called Alex, who works here, not you, on GTN. So he reckons that looking at other people's Strava is definitely a step up.
Yeah, that's true. Although there's one thing looking at your own rides, but about spending time looking at others, I mean, why on earth would you do that?
Well, I know. Is it FOMO? Is it just jealousy? Is it to steal amazing routes? Or is it to do as intended by Strava, to spread kudos?
Yeah, I mean, if it is the route planning, I think there's something a bit nerdy about that. I mean, planning rides the week before you do them kind of shows you're a bit obsessed about that.
That is true. Every now and then, right, when I'm at home, my wife will look at me and say, "You're thinking about bikes, aren't you?" And generally, it's got to be said, the answer is actually yes. It's probably about where I'm going to ride at the weekend.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So I guess if I'm plotting a route it's all about trying to keep the average speed up. You want to look at flat routes, fast rides, so I can try and beat the average speed from previously.
That is nerdy, mate. It's got to be said. And yes, I've done that too. Although mine was less about average speed and more about finding routes where I didn't have to stop pedaling so that my average wattage wouldn't drop.
I'll tell you what, a friend of mine actually doesn't start his head unit until he gets out of town and then pauses it manually every single time he stops.
That is excellent nerdery. Nothing quite like making a relaxing ride feel slightly stressful by constantly stopping and starting.
Or forgetting to start it again.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, that would be even worse, wouldn't it? That would ruin your average speed if you suddenly missed a whole section. Also, thinking about what you do off the bike, pretty nerdy, specifically the night before a ride. Okay, so if you have walked away from a pub early because you got a ride planned the next morning, that's pretty bad.
Oh, that's like a proper pro cycling nerd. They wouldn't be seen near a pub, would they? Perhaps maybe ever.
No, exactly. Well, actually, yeah, except Lloydie is definitely a cycling nerd, and he does frequent pubs more than most.
Yeah, he'd also be guilty of the next one, and that is in-depth data analysis of cycling or cycling tech using spreadsheets and graphs.
Yes, 100%. This is pro level. Websites like geometrygeeks.bike, which is something I look at with astonishing frequency. Have you come across
Never
it?
heard of that.
Okay, you check it out, mate. You are missing out. Yeah, and also bicyclerollingresistance.com, which I constantly have open in a tab in my browser. Those are next level signs of nerdery.
I don't want to admit it, I've actually got a pro subscription to Bicycle Rolling Resistance.
No way.
Yeah, I literally do, yeah.
Pro nerd.
Yeah.
Jesus, mate. Anyway, but even that pales in significance next to something that a mate of mine sent me, okay? He's going to remain nameless for his own safety. Yeah, he'll probably lose his job or something. But he created this spreadsheet to calculate what power he should ride at for any given time trial, either flat or uphill.
No way, that literally takes it to the next level. But it's not just the next level of data here, it's all right down to the air density, we've got rolling resistance, even these little arrows showing up above the rider's head. It's all pretty clever stuff.
Yeah. I know, this isn't just a spreadsheet, is it? It's a pretty spreadsheet, although he did say that he stole that graphic from a website. Although that kind of makes it even better, doesn't it? Because, you know, the effort that's gone into making it look pretty, as well as having all his own science in there. So fantastic levels of nerdery there, love it.
So I guess for the well-off cycling nerd, you can assess the different gradients and what percentage of your routes are flat or uphill, so that you can decide whether you take your aero bike or your lightweight climbing one.
That's a good one. And while we started out with cleaning your bike as the beginning step, meticulous cleaning is pro-level nerdery, isn't it?
Like having a proper chain cleaning process, a bit like I've done with that fancy pants muck-off tank.
Yes.
Maybe even waxing your chain.
Even I draw the line at waxing chains, okay? I would like to, I just don't have the time. I'd far rather mend inner tubes with my evenings. And if I do have to go out, I just like to talk about cycling non-stop.
Oh yeah, the dinner party boy. You can talk about something. Can you talk about something other than cycling? Or maybe you're just the kind of person who wants to talk non-stop about the race or the ride that you did last weekend to people who don't cycle, don't really like cycling, and really couldn't care anything to do with it.
No, okay. The ultimate cycling nerd, like a one-person cycling rappelling machine. If that's not you, you will definitely know of someone.
So those are sort of some of the ways that we define the levels of cycling nerdery. But where do you think you rank on the scale?
Yes.
Let us know in the comments section below.
Yeah, and if we've missed out even more nerdy things than we've put in our pro-level nerdery, let us know in the comment section down below. And we will now head over to another pro-level cycling nerd who, irritatingly, actually still manages to be quite cool.
Is it Manon?
It's Manon, yeah. Wasn't Luke Bridgewood, was it?
Welcome back to another update on how my training is going on the Wahoo System training plan for the Steamboat Gravel Race, which is 222 kilometres long. It still sounds like such a long way. I haven't got my head around that yet, but I'm coming with you from an update from ignore that mess, a little bit of a messy French hotel room. So I'm out here at the Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift doing some reporting. So my training this week has looked a little bit different. So that Monday to Friday was my usual turbos and a few road rides. I think I trained 4 out of those 5 days. But since last Saturday, I've been without a bike. So I'm out here without a bike, even though I'm surrounded by lots of lovely bikes and racing. I'm not actually on a bike myself, which is a little bit strange. So yeah, my training is looking a little bit different. But I remember at the start, when I set this training plan, I had a chat with the coach, Jeff, and I told him, you know, I wasn't going to have a bike for this week. Is that a problem? Is my training going to suffer? And he was like, no, completely. There's lots of different things that you can do to maintain your fitness. So what I've been doing is doing lots of the strength and yoga sessions that are on the Wahoo system training plan, which is great. You've got like a library of loads of different workouts. And what I actually really do like is that they're really short, which is great, but also means I can do like 2 or 3 of them. So I could do like 2 strength workouts, which are like 12 minutes long, so I can do 2 of them, and then I can do a yoga session, which has actually been working for me really well. So I'll do them if I have time in the morning or in the evening when I get back to the hotel. So yeah, a little bit, I guess, missing the bike, and in my head it's like, oh, I've done all this hard work, I've trained really hard, and now I have to have a week off, and oh, it's going to be wasted. But I can't think like that. It's not the end of the world, and I'm probably not going to lose any fitness. It's probably going to do me some good having a little bit of rest. So yeah, that's my update for this week, but I'll be back with another update with you next week.
Thank you, Manon. Right, now we mentioned at the beginning about the Transcontinental race, okay? So let us fill you in a little bit on what's been going on and also the backstory. So it's now in its 8th edition. It's definitely the most prestigious bikepacking event in the world, which means a bike race that's self-supported. Now, the start and the finish change locations with each edition, but they're always at opposite ends of Europe.
And this time, it goes from Belgium to the Bulgarian coast, and you've got to cross through mandatory checkpoints, which are located in the Czech Republic, Italy, Montenegro, and Romania.
Yes, it is definitely not a straight line across Europe either, is it? Just to add insult to injury. Now, the riders can choose their own way in this, and actually it is neatly illustrated by this replay function on .watcher.cc. Look, here you go, the riders fanning out either side of Dusseldorf. I do not know why some people have chosen north and some people have chosen south, but they have.
Yeah, now let it be said, as fantastic as it is watching the live TV coverage of every kilometre of every stage of the Tour de France, watching all these dots move around is possibly even more addictive.
It is, genuinely. Like, when you start, you'll be like, what on earth is this? And then you get into it.
Kind of get drawn into it.
Yeah, I probably spend more time looking at .watcher.cc than I do looking at bicyclerollingresistance.com.
Well, there you go. If you want to check out the dots moving around yourself, just head over to .watcher.cc, and hopefully you don't get addicted like Si does.
No, it's great dinner party chat, mark my words. Now, in terms of riders to look out for, top of the list is Fiona Kolbinger. So her name became legend in transcontinental circles when she won the 7th edition of the race, and in doing so became the first woman to win the race outright.
It's pretty crazy, isn't it? Now,
Yeah.
so I think she's going to be challenged pretty hard this time, and the top of the list of her rivals, or at least maybe the most interesting, is Christoph Strasser. Now, he holds the record, or won, the unsupported Ram, so Race Across America. And
Supported Ram, sorry.
Oh, supported Ram, yeah. Quite a big difference.
Yeah.
He's also the world record holder for riding the furthest distance in 24 hours. I think over 1,000 kilometres.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, so it's going to be super interesting to see whether or not he can translate his supported ultra endurance ability. He's definitely the best rider in the world for that. But can he find his own food and route? He's actually not in the lead at the minute, Alex, it's got to be said. So currently, top of the list is Ulrich. Yeah, my password's just gone on.
Yeah. But to be fair, you do always have a tab open.
I do. Here we go.
Yeah,
Look,
what a nerd.
Ulrich Bartolomos, who has ridden, check this out, 656.81 kilometres. The race, as we film this, only started a little over 18 hours ago, and so averaging 36k an hour, and he's only stopped for 9 minutes.
That is insane.
That is insane, and yet he's going to try and carry this on for like 4,000 kilometres.
I mean, judging by how I sort of look at the moment, my riding is like the complete flip side of that. I'd be lucky to average 9 minutes at the moment.
Just watch out for rocks in the middle of the road.
Watch out for
you'll
rocks.
End up like Alex.
Yeah, heard it here first. Now, as mentioned, the Tour de France Femme avec Zwift started last Sunday, and it runs all the way through to this Sunday. We've got 8 stages covering all sorts of different terrain, and I think it's going to be a pretty closely fought competition, unlike the men's event, which had some of the biggest time gaps between the leaders that we've seen for years. Decades even.
Decades. Bonkers, wasn't it? Do make sure you check out Tour de France Femme avec Zwift. We of course have it on GCN+. Some touch restrictions do apply. but make sure you check. And also remember that Manon, well, as you've just seen, is out there as well for us. Now we have a bit of a vlog for you from members of the Wahoo Lecole team who smashed the first stage. They claimed the white jersey and also a 6th place finish on the stage.
We're here in France, day 2. Very excited. Yesterday on the Champs, that was a special feeling. Yeah, the crowds were amazing. I mean, I guess when you're racing, you don't get time to like take it all in, but we watched it back in the evening, and that was special. And, yeah, today was stressful. It's only day 2, but yeah, great atmosphere. Like lots of people out on the roads cheering, and like a lot of picture myself moments. But, yeah, excited for the rest.
Now, I did chuckle at some of the podium shots from Paris. It kind of looked a little bit like Bring Your Kid to Work Day.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah, I think stage 1 winner, Lorena Vibes, even had a child with her. It wasn't her own. It was like, hi, can I borrow your child for the podium, please?
That's it. I don't want to be left out. Can I borrow your kid? Yeah. I mean, to be fair, in the case of the men's race, I mean, they've been away from home for over 3 weeks, haven't they? Possibly even longer. It's about time they took some responsibility and looked after their own children. So I completely sympathise with having to just look after your kid, irrespective of what you got to do. You know, it's a bit like having a kid on a video call, isn't it? It's that kind of vibe.
I mean, they've had it easy for 3 weeks.
They have.
Yeah.
Now, more Tour de France news for you. Geraint Thomas's infamous gilet, which is the one that he wore during the opening stage time trial and thereby undid literally tens of thousands of pounds worth of carefully researched aerodynamic developments, has incredibly continued its own journey around France in the gilet relay.
Now, I understand they wore the gilet in the time trial, but what is this gilet relay you speak of?
Well, it's a good question, okay? So seemingly Geraint decided that this gilet should continue to go around France, but he didn't want to wear it. So he organised fans to take it from the start to the finish of stages and then hand it over from one to another. Yeah, isn't it amazing? It's made its way around the whole of France. But Lizzie Banks, pro cyclist for EF Education, pointed out that the Tour de France hasn't really finished yet. And so actually, it's going to carry on to the end of the Tour de France Femme avec Zwift, which is super cool, isn't it? So
that's incredible.
One well-travelled, slightly smelly gilet wending its way around France.
Wow. And then also last week on the GCN Tech channel, Connor had a first look at some new tyres from Vittoria. They're called the Corsa N.Ext. More affordable than their Corsa Pro Level race tyres, but are said to offer grip, puncture protection, durability, and speed. Now, interestingly though, these are available in widths from 24 all the way up to 34 millimetres wide.
That is a fat road tyre, isn't it? And it is interesting as well, because as I found out when I was sniffing around hotel car parks in Copenhagen, most Tour de France teams are riding 28mm wide tyres now. We're going to do a bit of science back here to find out how wide a tyre we should be using for normal bike riding.
For normal people like us.
Tour de France rider using 28, should we be using even fatter to be as fast and efficient as possible?
Even wider tyres, you're going to open a whole can of worms up here. People are going to be getting so angry, maybe even more angry than the comments about disc brakes.
Surely not.
Hopefully not.
But to be fair, it does actually make people really angry, doesn't it? But to be clear, we don't mind what you ride, just as long as you ride your bike.
Yeah.
But don't blame us if someone else has done some research to find out that you can go quicker if you use X rather than Y.
You can choose to go slower if you want to.
Absolutely. Doesn't matter what speed you go at.
We've got some tech news of our own now because we've got a new limited edition GCN Castelli Competizione. You didn't know I spoke Italian, did you?
No, I didn't know.
Limited edition jersey that's available at the GCN shop.
That's right, yeah. Looks super cool. We haven't been able to get our hands on one yet. Apparently, they sold out so fast last time, just 12 hours, last time we did a limited edition jersey, that they decided that we were not fit to have one.
We're not worthy.
No, that's it. And you lot better be quick too. So head over to shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com if you like the look of it and you want to order one.
Just seeing whether I maybe order one for myself.
Go for it, mate.
Yeah.
It's time now for hack / well done, mate, got the memo, Bodge of the week.
Now, I'm actually not that familiar with this section of the show, so can you just clarify for me and any other new viewers out there the difference between hack and podge?
No, not really. It's a grey area, as any long-time viewer will know, but I will try. So basically, context is everything, right?
Okay.
So if something happens to your bike when you're out riding and you have to do something to it to get yourself home,
Yeah.
that's like a roadside hack. But potentially what you're doing at the roadside, if you did it in the context of your workshop, that'd be a massive bodge. So
Because
for example,
you've got the stuff and you could have done it.
That's it, right? So if you use a stick to fix a front derailleur, for example, that's not acceptable in a workshop.
No.
So a hack is often just, have you done something like a modification to your bike that's cool, that's also neat and cheap, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's very loose rules, isn't it?
Yeah. So no one ever understands.
Well, do you want to
least of all
kickstart
us.
us off with the first one this week?
I will. Okay. So this one was sent in by S Popo. Broken Sonny's bodged a la grandma. Not entirely sure what that is, but anyway, I used a safety pin to fix my glasses. I rode over them with my front wheel and lost a small screw that held the piece together. I'm on a multi-day gravel trip and rode 100k today without problems, despite having a needle 2 centimeters away from my eye. Oh my
God.
goodness me. Well, I mean, at least the pointy bit's facing away.
They've mangled the safety pin a bit. But...
You see, now if he was at home, or she,
yeah.
I would say that's a massive bodge. Go and get your glasses fixed.
Roadside, I feel like I can approve of
Exactly. Midway through a multi-day gravel trip, I say, hats off to you for getting your glasses fixed enough for you to wear them.
So I would vote that as a hack.
See, I'm going to vote that as a hack, but clearly it is like a grey area because 50% of the viewers disagree and say that's a bodge. So
I probably would have put the pin the opposite way around, so the pointy bit was on the outside. Like, because the open end was on the other side. Would have made a lot more sense.
that is a good point, yeah.
But, don't want to be picky.
Well, no, you could. You could say that's a bodge then. Do it better.
Bodge, sorry. Right, next one in is from Mark_D, and he's got a Rechrome logo. So this is 2007 giant head badge. He says the chrome finish has peeled off it over the years. Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
But then he found a chrome pen in an art store and has gone to town repairing this thing. What do you make of it?
Well, I think that looks pretty swished, doesn't it?
That does look good.
Also, you colour very neatly. You're in between the lines. I can't see any colouring on the frame. So yeah, that's a hack from me.
Yeah, I'd go hack with that. The results this one, 76% as people said it's a hack.
There you go, nice. Rick A. Workman, brilliant, evil genius, or waste of time, he asks. Saw this handcrafted beauty while on tour through Jasper in Alberta province. My riding buddies either thought I'd discovered hidden treasure or I'm a raving lunatic because I was excitedly saying, hackle bodge, just perfect for hackle bodge. Hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Well, yes, look at that. That is a super cool bike.
I'm enjoying it. It's actually got 2 stands.
It does, doesn't it? And also, I mean, those front forks are a work of genius. Look at that modification.
Quite a relaxed geometry.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, that's quite the wheelbase. And that extra bit on the back as well. Bits of it make me think that it's actually a proper bicycle, and bits of it made me think that it's massively bodged.
I feel like I was sort of hats off to the person who's made this because that can't have been easy to make.
No, but what a bicycle you have as a result. That's a hack from me.
Yeah, I'm going to say hack, although everyone at home seems to have disagreed with us. 33% of people said it was a hack, 67% of people said a bodge.
Well, I mean, I can see why you might not like it.
Okay,
but,
next in is from not_a_bot. Presumably they're saying they're not a bot.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, fair enough. They say global shortage has me seeing red. So they came across this in a SRAM Access Owners group. Maybe it's a hoax? Has to be a hoax. They said half respect, half blasphemy even. We get
that. I mean, that is a very, very tricked out micro bike, isn't it? Yeah.
It's a Bike Friday.
A Bike Friday, yeah.
A brand I'm not familiar with.
Now, I would probably have said this is a hoax, except for the fact that when I first went to the Taipei bike show many moons ago, and I saw how many carbon wheels you could buy that were in 20 inches or 60 inches. Yeah, because it's a massive thing. So you don't see many of them here in the UK or in the States or Australia or wherever, but elsewhere in the world, like micro bikes like this are super popular.
Wow.
And why not stick SRAM Red Access on it?
That, I mean, yeah, why not? It looks incredible, but I kind of want to comment about the length of that like steerer tube. It's almost as long as that crazy steerer tube extender we have on that bike for Ollie.
That's true, but can you imagine if you slammed that stem?
You'd have such a sore back.
You would have such a sore back. But actually, this kind of modification of little bikes, so there's like a massive modification thing for Bromptons. I've seen people make gravel Bromptons, like welding disc brakes onto Bromptons.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, full on. So fact, we should maybe delve into that murky world on GCN Tech at some point.
That'd be amazing.
It would, wouldn't
I'd
it?
be up for that. What do we think on this, though? What are you going to vote?
I think it's a hack. If that's your cup of tea.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I don't think you could bodge this together.
No.
It just wouldn't work. Okay, 50-50 actually on the votes on that.
Really?
Yeah,
There we go.
even split. Okay, I think that was our last one.
It was indeed. Right, thank you very much, as always, for sending in your hacks and bodges. And we will pick out our favourites this time next week as well. Make sure you head into the app and get voting on them ahead of next week's show.
Really wish I could do some more of these. They're good, aren't they?
Yeah. Come on back, mate.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome anytime.
Oh, that's very kind. It's now time for the Caption Competition. Now this is where you're in with a chance of winning a coveted GCN yellow water bottle. How incredible is this? I mean,
right.
It vanishes as well.
Now you
Go
see
on.
it? No, you don't.
Oh, you're wrong way round.
Okay. Now you don't see it?
Now you see it. Yeah, I'll
Anyway.
give up on that, sorry.
You can win one of those. All you got to do is put a witty caption in the comment section down below that relates to a photo we're going to give you shortly, but we'll do results first, as we always do. This was Team Jumbo-Visma on a recovery ride midway through the Tour de France. The winning caption, Alex?
And the winning caption is, Jumbo-Visma is riding so strongly, even their calls are getting dropped.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I like that. AD,
Yeah.
well done for that one.
Well
Get in
done.
touch and we will send you a GCN Elite water bottle.
Very nice.
One more week of yellow, remember? And then we're back to the normal ones.
I didn't get any yellow ones.
You not?
No, never mind.
Did you put a caption in the comment section?
No, I didn't.
There
I got
you
myself
go,
to blame.
Yeah. Right then, Alex, this is going to test your mettle.
Yeah.
So could you please provide us with a caption for this photograph from the men's Tour de France podium with Vingegaard and Geraint with presumably their children?
Yeah, so I'm going to go, so my sort of caption is, Tadej Pogacar sort of anxiously awaits being presented a child for finishing in second place. Not his, because I presume he doesn't have a child. So just a child, as if they're just presented as gifts.
I like it, mate. I don't think you needed the explanation.
Slightly obscure. I felt like I had to justify it because it felt a bit obscure.
Well, yeah. No, I know what you mean. No, I think that's good. Something... Go on, mate. Have your yellow bottle.
Thanks.
That was
Cheers.
worthwhile. I think
Yeah.
you'll all agree. Right then, you know what to do. Stick your captions in the comment section down below. We'll pick a winner next week. Okay, back by popular demand. One person has asked for it, so here you go, Kimberly Sparkles. Comment of the week is back. So you asked for it. If you don't want it, let us know in the comment section. Your wish is our command. But we have picked out, as we always used to, some of the best, finest comments that you've been leaving under GCN videos from the previous 7 days. Alex, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, God, there's always so many to choose from, but we've narrowed them down. So we've got Nick Van Dam first in. This video actually made me happy. They've just got one set of wheels. My life seems somehow simplified. So this was underneath the video you shot at the Tour de France, looking at how many wheels all the Tour de France teams have.
200 wheels per team.
Yeah.
Isn't that bonkers?
That is crazy, but this person's glad they've just got one.
There we go then. Yeah, it's true. That is very true.
And then we've got some comments from under last week's GCN show.
Oh yeah, so we asked why Sparta, Wisconsin is the self-proclaimed world capital of bike riding. And anyway, Chris Stint said, I'm from Sparta, or near Sparta. On the one hand, it's the complete opposite of the bicycle capital of the world. On the other hand, we're part of a geological feature called the Driftless Area, and the cycling to the south is some of the best in the world. Truly a hidden gem, elevation without thin air, low traffic roads, winding river valleys. It's amazing. So there we go. I did not know that. I've only been through Wisconsin once, and I didn't know about the Driftless Area, so I think we should go check that out one day.
Sounds incredible.
It does indeed,
I'm
yes.
not familiar
Thanks
with
for
it.
letting us know.
Then underneath the commuter challenge video from last weekend, you, Connor, Manon and Ollie.
That's right.
So we've got a comment from Fergal Trace, says, Ollie riding the aero bike with a parachute on his back. His rucksack wasn't great, was it?
It wasn't great, no. I'm surprised that Ollie had a rucksack from an army surplus store. He doesn't strike me as the kind of guy.
I thought he might have done a better job representing GCN Tech.
I thought he would have had some kind of high-tech rucksack. Yeah.
Someone actually commented on this comment and said also, Connor on the hottest day ever, using a backpack instead of using the panniers that he's got on his bike. He missed a trick there, didn't he?
He did. The good thing about that ill-fitting shirt that he bought himself at a charity shop for £5 the day before was that it was so big and blousy that actually I don't think he did get sweat patches. So
no, it's like a sort of parachute.
It was, wasn't it? A really like poorly fitting, slightly purpley parachute. But can I just say, we were obviously taking the mick out of Connor all day for him buying what he thought people wore to work. I cycled home from work that day, and no word of a lie, there was a man riding home on a gravel bike wearing exactly the same outfit, for real, to the point where I thought it was Connor, just 12 inches shorter. But no, it was a real person who'd been to work wearing a blousy pink shirt and some smart-ish shorts. So there we go. Okay, someone else wears that to work.
Okay, right, fair enough. Coming up on the channel this week, Wednesday, we've got How to Brake Like a Pro. Thursday, we've got, well, having learned to brake like a pro, we've got things that are useless that we learn as a pro. So Friday, we've got Why Your Saddle is Too High. Saturday, we've got pro cyclist Alec Briggs and Hank in London, taking on some interesting challenges there. And we've also got over on GCN Tech, that second episode of Ollie's bike build on Saturday.
That's right,
Then on Sunday, we've got some really cool videos that we shot at the World Superbike Round in Donington Park here in the UK. So Hank and Manon went and checked out all of the sort of bike tech and stuff that's going on there, as well as how some of the riders use cycling sort of incorporated into their training.
Actual superbikes with
crazy
engines in.
Like not the pedal ones we use.
No, exactly. So superbike versus superbike. Yeah, I cannot wait to see that. Of course, we've already mentioned it, but it's the Tour de France Femme avec Zwift this week as well. So do make sure you check that out on GCN Plus if you got it where you live. And also Classica San Sebastian as well, which we can show in even more territories. So that's the next round of the Men's World Tour, and there's some proper hitters lining up for that. Not just riders coming out of the Tour de France, but also some of the hitters that have missed it, like Alaphilippe. Although he's just gone positive with COVID, hasn't he? So maybe not Alaphilippe.
There's going to be some fresh legs though.
Evenepoel, he'll be there. So yeah, do make sure you check that one out. And then also the documentary this week. It's one that we filmed over on GCN Plus, which is profiling some of the world's, I think we can probably say this, nerdiest bike collectors.
Pro level nerdiness.
Ultra pro level nerdiness. So if you like your bike tech and your cycling nerdery, then make sure you check it out.
I guess, does that draw us to a close now?
I think that is.
Wow.
It's for the GCN show for another week. Alex, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. It feels honoured.
Well, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Before you go, perhaps you give us a wound update.
Healing up. They're reducing in size and depth, which is a very positive and good place to be in.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
Let it be a lesson to all of us. It certainly has been for me. When you're riding in summer and you've got contrast between under the trees and out in the sunshine, sometimes this thing's just kind of like...
Watch out for some rogue rocks.
Watch out for rogue rocks, yeah. Anyway, glad to see you up and about, mate, for sure. Thank you all very much for watching the GCN show for this week. We'll see you next week.